So the album's fabulous.
Thank you.
And you spent 2 years or so putting it together. Lockdown didn't help, did it?
No, so I'd already, basically about 2.5 years ago, I started recording this album at the same time that I started recording Wolf, the EP, which came out in 2018. So it was at least 2 years ago that I started recording this, and it was actually ready to go at the start of lockdown, but I decided I didn't want to put it out. I felt like it would be screaming into a void if I put it out at the start of lockdown, because there was enough going on without me trying to get people to order something. So, and it was also just not how I wanted to remember releasing an album, so I thought I'd wait. But
As you got to the end of lockdown, did you find that your writing had changed?
Maybe a little bit. I actually found it really hard to be inspired during lockdown. I think a lot of people would agree with that. When you're staring at the same four walls every day, I think it's quite tricky to be coming up with lots of creative content. But I think it more changed my perspective on building an audience and performing, and because suddenly everything was online. And so I think it was a really interesting learning curve in that respect, perhaps.
You were raised in a forest, it grew straight and tall. As you weave through the trunks, you felt desperately small. The taller you grew, the taller the trees, and you'd run home all muddy and graze both your knees. And there in the middle stood a tall, slender beech. If you raised both your arms, you found you could reach the base of her branches, and upward you swung. The forest, she whispered as all her leaves sang. To you. In those indigo eyes, there's a child that hides in the stars. They call out to their runaway bride. Oh, you. Oh, come home now, darling, the journey is done. Your troubles are old for a body so young. You are the first and the last to climb up the tree. You slept in her branches, you whispered that she had been there from the first. She'd be there till the end, and you'd weave her your stories of myths and pretend. And there in the night came a mighty great storm, and her arms were outstretched as her body was torn. You cried when you found her, and after you fled, but nothing could silence the voice in your head. Oh, you. Breath cloud on a window, a shadow on the lawn, or a leaf on the breeze, and a star in the dawn. Oh, you. Or the earth will forget you, to the stars you are known. And when this life's over, they'll herald you home.
How does coming from the Midlands influence your music?
ooh, Well, obviously, there's huge Ozzy Osbourne influences in
You
my
haven't been
hairstyle.
influenced by Ozzy.
Maybe just the hair. No, I don't know. I mean, actually, going back to canals, like, I'm currently trying to write a couple of songs about canals and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say there's necessarily anything directly influenced, but certainly, like, an artist I grew up listening to a lot was Nick Drake, and I do think part of the reason I was introduced to him was because of the fact that he was born just down the road. So we're a very musical city, Birmingham, so I think it must have
We are.
influence.
Jason Lewis has a geeky question.
Go on.
Who's your favourite poet?
My favourite poet? Oh, yes. Spoz. He's in the audience. But if I had to pick a second favourite that isn't wonderful Birmingham poet, Spoz, I think maybe Frank O'Hara I would pick. He's got an amazing way of capturing tiny little moments and making you feel like you've just stumbled upon a private conversation or just looked through a window and caught a little moment that you shouldn't have seen. And reading his poetry is incredibly intimate, which I really like. So.
But now you're letting your songs go out to the public,
Yes.
where other people will listen to them and interpret them and use them in their own way. How do you feel about that?
I actually really like that. I find it quite cathartic because obviously the songs are all very personal to me, but I think that's one of the nicest things about music is that once you've released them and you've put them out there, I like the idea of everyone who listens to the songs, they're not thinking about, say, my dad when they listen to the song about my dad that I've just sung. They're thinking about their dads. And I like the fact that music can be, the minute you put it out there, it's no longer owned by you. It just becomes public domain, and I really welcome people to kind of interpret it however they want to interpret it, and I get, I don't know, I find it quite cathartic, to be honest, so.
Chases moonlight over heath and over heather, overthrows the starlight as he hails the stormy weather. Eyes are like two pools of ink into which I seem to drown. Why is it I love him when his only pleasure's pulling me back down? Oh, and down. My wolf will come by moonlight and he'll stay with me till morning, shiver in his stone embrace and watch the daylight dawning. When he leaves his shadow stains the hollow he has made. No, he is the devil's own, but oh my God, I only wish he stayed. Oh, won't you stay? 'Cause I shouldn't love you, devil man, I beg, be kind. Your words, they fall like ashes, and they're burnt inside my mind, on my mind. My love is made of rocks and now I need him to be stable. His arms, they may be cold and hard, but they hold me like a cradle. Know that if I go with him, my soul he'll surely take. Beast he is an ocean, and I know I am the rocks on which he'll break. And he breaks.
well, hopefully, short-term, festivals this summer. Got the lovely Mostly Folk Festival in Birmingham, so that'll be great. Festivals and gigs, I'm hoping. Fingers crossed that that'll all be able to start again. But yeah, I think now that I've got this album out of the way and released and out there, I'm really excited to keep writing and maybe start working on album 2. I don't know if it's too early to say that, but certainly start writing, and I'm feeling very enthused by the whole process, and I want to crack on.
That's always a tricky thing, because the album took 2 years to record, and it went back to some of your older songs, your first flush of creativity, and you're going to have to match that. You're going to have to.
I know.
You're going to have to step up beyond that as well.
That is pressure, and I'm feeling that pressure for sure. When I'm listening to this album, I keep listening and thinking, how did I write that? And I'm starting to overthink stuff, which isn't something I did when I wrote those songs, because I had no expectation for them. But equally, it's good to have a bit of something to try and be beating. So, just going to keep writing and see what comes out.
Dear darling, I've been travelling round the country with an urge I cannot tame. But everywhere I go I think of home and hope, the door remains the same. Oh, when you're travelling, landscapes change, the faces fade, no one knows my name. But in the nightly gloom I find the moon, and soon I hear your voice again. Oh, nothing's changed, I just wrote to let you know that it's time for me to go. Even though I wish I could remain, I won't be coming round this way again. Mama, won't you take this whiskey from me? I've been drinking for too long. Oh, the sun's too high, the road's too long, and I'm too drunk to know my right from wrong. And if I could, I'd find some land, we'd have a child, a baby on the lawn. But honey, I'm a travelling man, and I'll have up and left you come the dawn. So I just wrote to let you know that if I could, I wouldn't go. Tell my mom I love her just the same, but I'm leaving on the 7:30 train. Honey, life can get a little lonely, living like a rolling stone. Oh, and sitting by my fire tonight, I must confess, never felt so far from home. Oh, one day, baby, I'll come home, I'll have you seated on my knee. But until that day, I need you to promise that you'll sit and wait for me. Can't you see that I need to know that wherever I will roam, there will always be a fire burning, waiting for your baby to come home. There will always be a fire burning, waiting for your traveller to come home.
I must ask you about what it was like touring with Richard Thompson.
Oh yeah, dreamy would be the word I'd use. He's a really lovely man. He's quite shy and quite quiet, but yeah, really kind, and I was really honoured to open for those shows in Ireland with him. And also performing in Ireland was just the best. The crowds were incredible, like the generosity, and yeah, I've never really had that kind of response before. It was quite overwhelming at first, because it's so enthusiastic. It's a different kind of attitude towards live music there, which was brilliant, and I would really like to go back out there as soon as I can.
I'm Sean Lakeman.
And I'm Katherine Roberts, and we are a married couple, and we've worked together for over 25 years now. And we play a mixture of traditional folk music, some songs that we write ourselves that are very much rooted in the traditional storytelling side of music, and we throw in the occasional random cover just for fun.
Katherine plays piano and woodwind, things like clarinet, flute, the occasional bit of saxophone occasionally, and she sings, whilst I just stick to the acoustic guitar.
Go bring to me your dowry, love, and some of your father's gold beside, that you may ride along with me and be made next day my lovely bride. She took the dowry, she took the gold. The appointed night came very soon, and away she's gone to the trysting tree by the pale light of the rising moon. She's coming first to the trysting tree, set in the leaves above I'll hide, to surprise my love, so that when he comes he will wonder, where is my lovely bride? She waited a while, she sat hid, she saw two men below her feet. Her love she saw in the pale moonlight, as he dug a grave below the tree. They waited a while, but she never stirred, and at last they left their dreadful plan. And when they both had safely gone, she slipped from the tree and home she ran. A week went by, her love she met at her neighbor's house to pass the time. The lads and girls, they jest and play, and asked each other riddles and rhymes. Her false love whispered, where were you, love? The night I waited in vain for you. I'll answer that, this girl replied, if you'll answer me this puzzle true. One moonlit night as I lay hid, I looked for one, but two came there. The boughs did bend and the leaves did shake, for to see the whole the fox did make. His color changed and up he rose. We saw his treachery made so plain, out of the doors into the night, never seen in those parts again.
When we play a gig, we really hope that we can invite an audience into our world for a little while. We want to try and give them a real experience of feeling like they're getting to know us through our songs and our stories, if you like, and get to know our family life a little bit, how we come by the songs that we like to perform. We like to create quite an intimate, friendly feeling when we play.
Like Katherine says, we like to draw audiences in, and we always joke that if we haven't made somebody cry or laugh out loud, then we haven't done our job properly. So evoking and sharing emotions, that's what our job's all about. Yeah, normally we tour as a duo, and we keep things as streamlined as possible, just because we love our own company. And
No, we play a real variety of venues when we go on tour, and it could be from small village halls to large art centres, theatres, but we like to have that ability to be self-contained, so we travel with our own PA, and because there's just the two of us, we're very easy to organise, and we come from the same household, and it's I think because we are married and we work together, that kind of intimate, that understanding that we have of each other really makes our gigs work.
We're very happy with how we do things. We've got it down. It satisfies us. And as long as audiences keep coming to see us, then, that's great.
Oh, we stamp across the moor, and nobody is sure where we come from or who we're going to see. Through the morning's misty breath, we will scare you half to death, for we are the cows of mystery. Oh, we disappear from here, and we pop up over there. No one knows how we get from A to B. Well, I shouldn't really say, but we have found a way, for we are the cows of mystery. There's a rather clever man with a rather clever plan to travel time and space and everywhere in between. But we are clever cows, and we have found out how to travel in a bovine time machine. Oh, we like to head out west, where the grass is always best, to north and south and throughout history. But we avoid the east, it's no good to man nor beast, for we are the cows of mystery. We knew about it first, the secrets of the universe, the black holes and expanding galaxies. So we wander time and space to see the look upon your face when you bump into the cows of mystery. In Dartmoor National Park we hang around till it gets dark and jump on unsuspecting passers-by. It comes as a surprise, and they can't believe their eyes when a bull materializes from the sky. Oh, we like to stay up late and discuss and ruminate and keep up to date with quantum theory. But you'd never believe it's true, 'cause we don't let on to you, for we are the cows of mystery.
So we've played so many diverse gigs in our time. We've played all around the world, incredible variety of venues and to all sorts of different people and cultures. So I think we'd like to continue doing that and just spreading our music and sharing our music. And like we said earlier on, we like to draw people into our world for a short while. So
I think one of the greatest pleasures that we get from performing music is when we have the opportunity to play to people who are not necessarily folk music aficionados, who don't particularly know the ins and outs of traditions, or who maybe think it's not for them. Because that's a real delight to be able to sing someone a traditional song and then turn around and go, oh, actually, I really quite liked that. That's not what I expected at all. So to have those opportunities to visit venues that are outside of our regular sphere, I think I'm always happy to do more and more of those. They're always a lot of fun to do.
When we travel as well, it's a great source of inspiration for songwriting. We pick up stories from all over the place. The last song that Kathryn wrote, she remembered a story from visiting Niagara Falls. And she's just written a song all about the first guy who tight-roped across Niagara Falls. And we wouldn't have come across that probably if we hadn't have gone to Niagara Falls. So there we are.
Sit down, take a deep breath. Forget about climbing your hill. Close your eyes, let the world hurry by. See the wisdom of standing still. Switch off, don't say a word. Take the chance to relax if you will. Enjoy the sunset or gaze at the stars. See the wisdom of standing still. 24 hours a whirlwind surrounds you. Time is the foe of all men. How can you see all the fine things around you? Slow down, make space again. So come in and sit by the fire and pass me your glass to refill. The rat race can spare you an hour or so. See the wisdom of standing still. Time is for wasting and losing and making. Time is for sharing with friends. Those who adore you will always implore you to slow down, make space again. So come home with me and pass me your glass to refill. Bask in the silence and revel in peace. See the wisdom of standing still. Standing still.
The part of touring I haven't missed is the driving. The travel is the real work, I believe. You know, not the experiencing different places, but the hours spent on the road, in airports, you know, on ferries. That is the you know, the smell of petrol and diesel is a musician's odeur.
Well, no, I agree. I agree totally. I have nothing to add to that.
No, only that I think, having been through the last however many months of pandemic, you know, it's refreshing to be able to be out playing in front of people again. It's been a remarkable experience that I don't think any musician could have expected their reaction once they got back on a stage and played in front of people. I think it's been a profound thing.
I'm Katy Rose Bennett. I write compelling and emotional songs which tell stories of love, despair, connection and community. I think that's kind of how I describe it. All my life's work is about connecting people through music and song, whether that's running community choirs or leading songwriting workshops or creating and performing my own songs. Everything I do is about song. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The mist rising from the river Ray hangs around most of the day, and I haven't followed the heron home since the end of September. This is the day they tell us to think of those gone before can only think of you and not forget to remember you're still here. In the air around us, the mist, the rain, the snow. Still here in the earth beneath us, the lattices we grow. Still here in the words we say and the love we hide away till we meet again some cold November day. We sat silent in the atrium, listening to the freezer hum, the babies laugh, embarrassed crockery, till the tannoy marked the ending. Then we all returned to our daily bread, forgetting what our hearts just said. And if this is how we really feel, we better stop pretending. You're still here in the air around us, the mist, the rain, the snow. Still here in the earth beneath us, the lattices we grow. Still here in the words we say and the love we hide away till we meet again some cold November day. I still see you sometimes, I still hear you sometimes, I still need you sometimes. You're still here by my side. The mist rising from the river ray hangs around most of the day, and I haven't followed the heron home since the end of September. You're still here in the air around us, the mist, the rain, the snow. Still here in the earth beneath us, the lattices we grow. Still here in the words we say and the love we hide away till we meet again some cold November day. Oh, till we meet again some cold November day. Oh, till we meet again some cold November day.
I think what inspires me is the natural world, sea, mountains, trees, birds, anything to do with nature. I'm inspired by relationships, by people I've loved and people I love. I'm inspired by stories I hear or read about, as well as by my own experiences of mental and physical ill health as well. I suppose there'd be the kind of main inspirations for my music, I'd say.
Where does it hurt? Where is the pain? Where is the rage? The sadness? Where is the shame? Where does it go when you hide it away? Deep in the shadows or buried in clay, in the dust and the dirt. Oh, where does it hurt? Where does it hurt? You don't have to say, just tell me the song you sing and I'll live forever. For once in my life, wish I had a river in the notes and the words. Oh, where does it hurt? Where does it hurt? Under the skin, here in your heart, or through every inch. Place your hand in my hand. Please let me in. Let me understand the guilt and the sin. Not the worst on this earth. Oh, where does it hurt? Where does it hurt? Where is the pain? Where is the rage? The sadness, where is the shame?
I think when someone comes to hear me play my songs, more than anything, I want them to feel something. I think songs contain emotion in a totally unique way, whether that feeling is one of joy or anger or despair or hope or grief or love or whatever. There's something containing about a song. It's like a vessel for emotion, and it's something you can call upon whenever you need it. So I think I just really want people to feel when they come and hear me play. Do you know what I mean? I like to create intimate performances, and I think by being emotionally vulnerable myself, I hope that enables other people to be open and vulnerable in their response. Over the last few years, I've really come to know the incredible strength in vulnerability. And as humans, it's really the only way that we can truly know ourselves and each other. I just love playing music to people. It's the thing that makes me get up in the morning and makes me feel alive. Long may it continue.
Did you see the sky this morning? Sun pushing through, covering every building in an eerie hue. And did you see the sky this morning? Oh, I thought of you. No, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. sky this morning, oh, I thought of you. No, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. People will judge me, people will talk, but what people don't know is what's going on before. How I made this choice between me and you, and it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Did you see the sky this morning? Sun pushing through, covering every building in an eerie hue. And did you see the sky this morning? Oh, I thought of you. No, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Hi, Lady Nade.
Hi, Tom.
Hello. Tell me about when you first started writing songs.
I first started writing songs when I started to write poetry as a form of healing from grief. And I turned my poetry into lyrics later on, around 15 and 16 years old.
Wow. Were you a musician before that point?
No, but I think that I wanted to be. I would often spend time with my friends pretending that I was Scary Spice. And we thought that we were the Spice Girls. Yeah.
Yeah. So you wrote these poems and then they turned into songs, and that's when you picked up the guitar and started making them into music.
Actually, I was a late guitar starter. I took my poems, I turned them into song structures, and then I started to go to group singing sessions called Studio 7, and then I connected a way to sing my songs, and then I formed bands with friends, and then it was probably around the age of 18, 19 that I kind of dabbled with the guitar. I always had a guitar around, but I didn't ever see myself visually becoming a guitarist. And actually, it's been quite hard to actually even say now I'm a guitarist, and I'm a guitarist, but. Yeah, we have this funny. I'm looking at the guitar now, thinking we have such a strange relationship, you and I.
So how did Lady Nade come about then?
Lady Nade. So when I was in college, I went to Access to Music, which is now called Access Creative College. I met a friend and I was really into Billie Holiday, and my name's hard to pronounce or something with the syllables. So when we'd go out and I'd introduce my name as Nadine, people would hear like lady. And then so she said, well, you know, you've got Billie Holiday, Lady Day. What I'm going to call you Lady Nade. I will stand by you willingly. I will comfort you willingly. Willingly. Ain't gonna tell you how to act. Ain't gonna tell you what to do. Ain't gonna tell you should or shouldn't do. I'm here with an open heart, willing, willingly, ain't gonna push you till you break. Ain't gonna plant a single doubt. Ain't gonna question how you're feeling. If you want someone who'll listen, I am listening. Silence is a loud reply. Will stand by you willingly. Ain't gonna tell you how to act. Ain't gonna tell you what to do. I'm here with an open heart, that I actually pair recipes with my songs. I'm a huge foodie, so when I'm not singing, I'm in the kitchen. And actually, I recorded my debut album, all the vocals of my debut album, in a kitchen. I couldn't be too far away from food. I love food, and the Lady Day sort of concept, Billie Holiday sort of jazz, doesn't really fit into the music, although it's often a stereotype to put me in with jazz singers. But actually my music it crosses loads of boundaries of indie folk, Americana, and really I start with a concept or an idea, and I just give the song what the song calls for, rather than thinking this has to be like blues, or this has to be jazz, or this has to be soul. I'm a singer-songwriter, so I just sing and write songs.
And do you still have a link with food? How does music and food still relate in the Lady Nade canon?
Well, it goes back to healing and grief work. And when I was going through because I lost a family member at a very young age, which is why I started to write, and I didn't realize it at the time. But it was my way of dealing with loss. And as I started to work through grief, I realized that tension that I was and problems that I was having with my gut were becoming alleviated. And then I looked into grief in the gut, and actually anger is one of the stages that we go through when we grieve, and anger manifests in the gut. So bringing in recipes and well-being into my music in a form that people can eat and drink just adds to that communal experience that I feel when I'm singing my songs, and people are able to have a voice to express things that they haven't been able to themselves with their own journey through loss and grief.
I love the idea that emotion manifests itself for you both in music but also in food and recipes, and that connection and how you articulate that connection has attracted so many fans to your music, and they seem to be deeply engaged in you and the story that you tell. What would you like to say to any of the fans that have engaged with you recently?
I just like to encourage them to be themselves and not try to be anyone else, because life, is short and time flies, and why try to be someone else in the limited time that we have when you can just be yourself? Ain't one thing that I would change about you, babe. Ain't one thing that I would change about you, baby. Ain't one thing that I would change. You're so damn perfect in every kind of way. Your beauty shines both night and day. Won't you come a little closer? Lay your sweetness down. Let me love you in more ways than one. Ain't one thing that I would change you, babe. Ain't one thing that I would change about you, baby. Ain't one thing that I would change. You're so damn wonderful, a dream I've dreamt come true. I feel alive when I'm with you. Won't you come a little closer? Lay your sweetness down. Let me love you in more ways than one. Ain't one thing that I would change about you, babe. Ain't one thing that I would change about you, baby. Ain't one thing that I would change. Your eyes, the way your body moves as you take to the floor. You got me feeling high, higher than I've ever felt before. Won't you come a little closer? Lay your sweetness down. Let me love you in more ways than one. Ain't one thing that I would change about you, babe. Ain't one thing that I would change about you, baby. Ain't one thing that I would change.
Some quick fire questions. I'm going to reel them off, and you can give me some quick answers.
Okay.
If you could buy any type of food right now, what would it be?
Chickpeas.
What colour is your toothbrush?
Blue.
If you could be an animal, what would it be and why?
A sheep, because sheep are cool and fluffy and cute.
What is one of the things you would put on your bucket list?
Swim with sharks.
Who is your favourite superhero and why?
Catwoman, because she's just cat-like.
Who do you admire the most?
My granddad.
What is your favourite summer activity?
Lying on the beach in the sun.
If a movie was made of your life, what genre would it be and who would play you?
Oh, wow. Psychedelic sci-fi with like some aquatic-esque to it. And who would play me? David Bowie.
Of course. If you could be any flavour of ice cream, what ice cream flavour would you be and why?
Oh gosh, a honeycomb, because I'm crunchy and honey flavoured.
Who's your favourite cartoon character and why?
Favourite cartoon character? Well, gosh, I really can't answer this one.
Pass.
Pass.
What is your dream job?
I'm actually I'm living my dream job.
Amazing. Are you a morning or a night person?
Night.
Night. What's your favourite hobby?
Swimming.
What is one thing that annoys you the most?
Oh, bad teeth.
What's the strangest thing you've eaten?
Shark.
What's one of your weird quirks?
When I'm stressed, I do that with my nose.
Thank you, Siri, for saving the day. Right, there you go. How was that? We can put some of them in. That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, great.
Do you think that'll do? I've still no idea what we're hoping
What's
to
like
achieve.
on about the ice cream? Because I'm honey flavoured.
Because I'm honey. Lady Honeynade. Tell us about your team.
I work with an array of musicians. I go out as a solo artist, as a duet, and a trio, a full band. And you can find me on all social media platforms.
Hello, we are the Rheingans Sisters. We are folk musicians, multi-instrumentalists, song makers and composers from England and France.
We kind of play a lot of traditional music from Europe, I would say. We've both kind of studied quite deeply folk music in Sweden, Norway and France, where I'm based now. But we grew up in the Peak District in England. Our dad is a violin maker, so that kind of explains partly. He also makes banjos, which explains fully. Yes, we've got a variety of instruments on stage. We play a lot of traditional music from Europe, but we're also composers and songwriters. So, but a lot of those influences are kind of seep into our compositions as well. So. lot of our music is dance music or based on dance rhythms. So playing for dancing or playing for people to want to move and dance could be a good thing. We do like playing for dance, but obviously we have adapted a lot of that music to a sit down crowd as well. But even having the cadence, having the danceability there, even for a sit down audience, is something that we love.
There's a kind of joy and an energy in that music, which I think can transfer anyway to an audience that isn't moving around as much. I think also with our music, as you can see, we're kind of surrounded by many parts here. And I think a lot of all our arrangements and compositions, I feel like they're quite cinematic. And I feel like the audience experience is probably something like that's more than a sum of its parts going on. And I think for us as well, our meeting together with our instruments, there's like an alchemy in the middle. So I would hope the audience kind of feel quite enveloped by that somehow.
Yeah, but also more pragmatically, just wanting to share music and instruments that maybe people haven't come across, and musical traditions that they haven't heard before. So also a kind of educational, just sharing of those things. So over here we've got a Pyrenean tambourin à cordes, which is a percussive instrument. It's a strung drum. So that comes with me from southwest France. And then it's also played in tandem with a small 3-holed flute called the flabuta. And then we've got fiddles and a viola. The fiddles were made by our dad, Helmut Rheingans. And our banjos were made by our dad as well. And so he's a violin and banjo maker. 5-string banjos, and we've got an electric guitar. And I have a piece of wood which I tap my feet on. So foot percussion. And that's about it, I think.
I think the other thing that's special about gigs together, as opposed to maybe the other projects that we play in, is that we always leave a little bit of improvisation space. So I think what I also really hope the audience, when they come to our gig, feel is similarly a little bit on the edge of their seat, because that's where we are. And that's where I think the magic can happen, when there's some space for the unexpected.
Magic can happen.
Brother, you were so young when you learned to talk and be ignored, when you learned to love and learned to run. Brother, you were smiling in the photograph they took that day in January. On the final house in Bogside, long after the paint's dried, the writing's on the wall. While those who sit deciding never feared a bullet flying through the window. What do we learn? Oh, what do we learn? Our sisters stood across the sea, facing hate with fear and rage. They learned to stand and to fight on. Our sisters, they were dancing in the streets that day. Steps that made the tables turn. Out well after midnight in righteous colours, a new dawn paints the town. Do you remember how we danced four to the floor before the cops came around? What do we learn? Oh, what do we learn? What do we learn? Oh, what do we learn? This museum holds a secret. It's in the photographs they took that day and now hang on the wall. Just across the ocean, how many lives are broken, soldiers on the beat. While our days are sheltered, the pipes play loud, poppies line the streets. What do we learn? Oh, what do we learn? What do we learn? Oh, what do we learn? Our sisters' love still stains the streets. Our brothers' bones, they lie and glisten. Freedom speaks softly, but I can hear it when I listen.
We have been extremely lucky to have toured in many places. Our music has taken us to many places in Europe. We've been touring in France, where Anna's based.
In Sweden.
In Sweden quite a bit.
In Ireland.
In Ireland. In Australia a few years ago was the furthest afield that we took our music.
Yeah. We unfortunately had to cancel a tour in Canada earlier this year, and some other gigs in Belgium and the Czech Republic due to COVID. But all of that hopefully is still to come after when things start getting back to normal. So really looking forward to going that way over the ocean where we haven't been yet. Especially because a lot of the traditional music that we really love also comes from over there, and we haven't kind of been there to explore that yet. So hopefully we'll get the chance soon.
Yeah, usually everywhere we've been, in order to play music, somehow, becomes part of our set carrying on. So, I mean, that's been our artistic practice as well as, job. So just to carry on doing that, to carry on letting new places inspire new music.
Yeah, and the people we meet on the way. And what I like as well is meeting people on the way that tell us what they experience, what our music is about for them, what the songs, tell them what the tunes, where they're transported to when they watch us. So that's always inspiring.
Look how pink the sky has turned, and how the land looks wider. They say tomorrow will be fine, tomorrow will be brighter. After the bell rang from the one remaining altar, I heard the ripples follow each other across the water, and the idea we'd be better, that someone had been been small enough to crawl inside and ring out from the clutter. Maybe tomorrow will be fine. Tomorrow will be brighter.
We've both missed it a lot, actually. When we're on the road together, we have generally a pretty good time, don't we?
Great time.
Getting welcomed and getting fed well and getting to play. I mean, this is like our happy place. So in order to do it, it's beautiful. But yeah, what have we not missed? I mean, driving around, I suppose. That's the classic answer.
Probably just service station.
Sandwiches.
Breakfast.
Just sandwiches.
When you've got, a slight geographical, something doesn't quite work out and you've got a big drive and you've got to get up very early. Just sort of things like that. But it's worth it.
It's worth it, yeah.
We are Free. We are a string trio from Wales. We play majoritively Welsh traditional music, but we try to blend our classical background and our traditional music background into one new sound that we like to call chamber folk.
I'm Patrick Grimes. I'm from the Ogwen Valley in Snowdonia in North Wales, which makes me the token gog of the band.
My name's Aneirin Jones, and I come from Pontardawe in the Swansea Valley.
My name is Jordan Price-Williams, and I come from the Avon Valley in South Wales.
So fundamentally, the three of us were mates and drinking buddies before we were colleagues. I think the first time that we actually all played music together was on the set of a TV programme. We ended up in the band for Bryn Terfels, the world-famous bass baritone Bryn Terfels Christmas extravaganza programme on S4 and we spent a week just being very silly and sort of running around the Museum of Welsh Life in St Fagan, having far too much fun. And at the end of that week, I think we decided that it was for the best if we continued playing together, and so we just had to form a band.
Clywair tabwr ddefor chwiban nawr yn datgan tôn y cam. Daeth y diwrnod byddwch barod, rhaid y madw a gwlad eich mam. Dewch bob dynnu'n rhaid i'w gychwyn, a chi'n bod tarfyn ar ein taith. Ni gawn deithio'r hir filltiroedd dros y tir a morwydd mai. Tymhyw newydd, tamawr niwed, rhaid i myned dymha'r modd. Gadw bryniau gwlad ein tadau, hwyr yw'r geiriau i'w rhoi ar gof. Gadw Cymru o'r dal i'w gyfoen, lle darfi'n gael ein bod. Aeth rhyw gildion halon heilaf, llawn o'r unwaith llon erio. Nid oes sgwydder nawr a gwennau oer y geiriau dagrau dŵr. Amsirioldeb ydyw'r rodeb sydd ar wyneb o briw ddŵr. Rhaid i'w gadael nawr y lwystrau, lle fi'n cartre Cymru a per hon fi ddysgu lon.
My first experience was some local workshops in Ystrad, which is just up the road from where I grew up. And it was such an eye-opener for me, just to kind of know that, my own traditional music exists and it's on my doorstep. And just kind of learning the first couple of tunes, I was just totally hooked and really just got into playing by ear, which kind of was such a massive stepping stone for me in my playing. So I think if it wasn't for discovering that traditional music, I don't know if I'd really probably still be playing the violin.
Quite soon after starting to learn the violin, making a horrible sound on sort of scratching away in primary school, I got taken along to a workshop of the Welsh Traditional Instrument Society, CLERA, as it became known later. And at that time, I was getting very frustrated because my ears would kind of get carried away and I was getting bogged down with the sort of the details of trying to read music and following rules. And to go to a place where suddenly manuscript paper was out of the window and everybody had to use their ears, I found it really liberating, and I kind of couldn't believe that this place existed.
When I was studying in the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, I had instrumental lessons at school and gone through that sort of county orchestra system and not really had a huge experience of any other kind of music apart from classical music. And I had seen a Scottish band playing at Cambridge Folk Festival. And I then came across an album called Fiddle in the college library that was a collection of Welsh fiddle players. And it just became this obsession where it was the key to finding a whole heritage and culture of our own that I didn't know existed before. So on our first album, Tîn Tadau, we decided to sort of trying to delve into the complicated relationship between the Welsh people and the Welsh chapel movement. We all grew up in chapel communities, albeit non-religious. But in the 19th century, the Welsh chapels, the Methodists, had quite an impact on our traditional culture. They really discouraged people from playing dance music and from singing bawdy songs, and everything had to become quite sort of pure. But they also used lots of traditional tunes and turned them into Methodist hymns. And in some instances, they are the only places you can find these relics of these traditional tunes. They've been preserved as hymns. In this second album, we are looking at trying to explore this relationship a little deeper through Welsh traditional music by trying to explore more what people's lives were like outside of the chapel. We have a sort of a good understanding of the impact that these chapels had on their daily life when they had to go to chapel, but we're trying to find, or maybe even imagine, just some fraying ends of our traditional music that existed outside this religious revival.
You can find us all on our social media platforms with Vree Official and on our website vree.cymru. We also stream on Spotify, and we really hope to come and play at a theatre or venue near you soon.